Alma Henry didn't know she would commit a crime at 7 years old, one that would change her life in the best possible way. Here's one woman's story about immigrating to Hutchinson, Kansas, and the support she received along the way, in The Way to America and The American Way.
It all started here with my dad. My grandma, who's my dad's mom, born in El Paso, Texas, by accident, default U.S. citizen. She filed for my dad for permanent residency at 23 years old. He worked at Garden City, Dodge City, moved to Hutch as a head cook at Anchor Away, sending money home to Mexico to my mom and my family. This is where he was sending the money to, where I grew up, Kamado Chihuahua, looking at that mountain, 6 hours away from the Texas border in my grandparents' house. Kamado is about the size of Hutch, about 40,000 people or so. This is me and my cousin Lupita, and we are in our fancy above ground pool in my grandma's backyard. My mom was very young when she had me. She worked a lot, so my grandma could walk me to school daily, so I stayed with her Monday through Friday. I saw my mom and my little sister Anna on weekends, and I saw my dad yearly or so. It's important to note that I was very lucky to go to school, especially in kindergarten. My grandma would push school. She was a teacher herself, a computer teacher in Mexico, well respected. They call her La Maestra, which means the master, also a teacher, always putting her career first, defied gender and culture norms, and she pushed me to do the same. This is where I went to elementary school, 1st and 2nd grade here. My grandma put in a favor, only the affluent families would go here. This is an all-girl Catholic school, very strict. We were taught etiquette. They checked my hair every so often, make sure there was no flyaways, fingernails, and I took English as a foreign language. This one morning in January 1995, we took a bus to Chihuahua. My grandma told me that I was not going to school, that I was meeting my mom and my sister. And there in Chihuahua, we met 2 people named the Coyotes. And my mom told me not to ask any questions, do what I was told, protect my sister, and not let go of her hand. It started as a game. You can kind of see on that side that there was a hill, and we slid down, and it was a lot of fun. We crossed the river, interlocked like so. There's a lot of jagged rocks and a bit of a current is what my mom tells me. We took a layer off somewhere around this way just because of the wet clothes that we had, and after that it was a lot of running. We then hitchhiked to Las Cruces, New Mexico, where my mom's sister Lulu, she lived with her family there. She took us in for the night, dolled us up so we could fit in, and we needed to get to Hutch, Kansas. My parents arranged, falsified IDs, passports, so on and so forth, lots of money, so we could fly to OKC. My dad picked us up at OKC, and I remember the first thing he said to us is, "I can't believe you guys made it." And I thought to myself, what do you think was going to happen? And as I got older, I know what happens when people take that risk. I stepped out of the car in Hutch, and I could not open my eyes because it was so bright. That's the first time we saw snow. We lived in an upstairs apartment on Avenue B, 1 giant room, 1 bathroom, 1 small kitchen. With the exception of school and groceries, we couldn't go anywhere. No friends, no talking, we couldn't trust anyone. I remember going to school and lying about my brother's name, telling everyone his name was Mark, because I was afraid that we were going to get discovered, and I was afraid that they were going to deport us. There is my brother, not Mark, his name is Alonzo. And I will never forget that stroller. We took that stroller everywhere. We didn't have a car. We would put my brother in the stroller and walk to Dillon's for groceries. We would put the groceries in the stroller and carry my brother back. And we did that over and over, back and forth. I started school that spring in 1995. I went to 2nd grade at Grandview Elementary School. The principal spoke a little English, Mrs. Perez. I had a little girl in my class, Maria, who translated some. And I went to the ELL program, 8 hours every day. I was one of 3 people who didn't speak any English. My ELL teacher also did not speak any Spanish. Grandview closed that year, and I went to Avenue A Elementary School, and thank goodness my ELL teacher, Mrs. Rojas, was there, and she helped me to learn English. Through games, music, singing, we worked on my accent, and she never treated me any differently. She didn't go slower, she didn't talk louder, and to this day, she still sends me notes and things in the mail. They kicked me out of the ELL program in 4th grade, and I was terrified to speak. The principal made me the school translator, and for the first time I felt seen and I felt important. I threw myself into English because I wanted to be really good at my job, and this is me at the spelling bee. As a runner-up, I never won. My dad, it's important to note that during this time I missed a lot of school. I helped my parents with insurance, taxes, bills, appointments, so on and so forth, and at one point my mom and dad thought we were not going to live in fear, so we turned ourselves in. We looked for partnership, we submitted DNA tests, I helped my dad through the citizenship test, and that was that picture there. Middle school was a pivotal year. I became legal. I could finally see my grandparents in Mexico, and I broke out of my shell. But I only did that because of my teachers, like that one right there, Shelley Griffith Social Studies, who, among other teachers, became my cheerleaders, and much later in life, they also became my colleagues. Name of the game in high school was involvement. So in HHS, I threw myself in band, I threw myself in debate and forensics, and where I made a lot of friends. And not just did I make friends, but I also had the support of teams and my debate partner. And all of that really turned my confidence up, and it made me want to speak more and tell my story. When I went to ESU, there was never a doubt that I wanted to be my grandma. I wanted to be la maestra, the master, the teacher. And through the Davis Foundation, I could go to ESU right after high school. So I went there for 4 years, and I was exposed to different backgrounds and different experiences and different people. In short, I wanted to make a difference like people had done for me. 308 gave me my first job, and now it's home. Wonderful support system and the people that I've met as a 7th grade English teacher, there's an irony there, and a coach, and now an administrator. And those are my babies. This is my home now, STEM Magnet School at Allen, and I don't regret my upbringing. I talk about it. I want to talk about it because of the broken system that we have. It made me who I am, how I lead, how I support. But what I want for kids to know with similar experiences that I have is that I want them to know that I see you and that I will always root for you. Thank you.